Chapter 808. Elaine trotted up the stairs to the second floor and tried to open the door to Alex and Emma's room. She grinned triumphantly when the doorknob twisted open easily. Once she was inside the room, she began to rummage through their stuff. However, it was their first day moving into the villa. They hadn't had the time to keep their things in the closets, and there was nothing valuable laying around. Elaine searched for a long time but couldn't find Alex's wallet nor bank card. Just when she was in the midst of frustration, her eyes blinked enthusiastically when she saw Alex's coat hanging in the closet. She hurried forward and rummaged through the pockets for a while. Finally, she found a black and gold bank card in one of the pockets. The card was filled with words from some foreign language that she couldn't comprehend except for the fact that the card was from Citibank. She didn't know what kind of bank card it was even after looking at the cards back and forth carefully, but the card looked pretty exclusive and extraordinary. She was overjoyed with her findings. She quickly kept the card into her pocket while whispering to herself, Alex, oh Alex, you don't want to give me money, huh? That's fine. I'll take it myself. Also, if you had spoken in a slightly nicer tone just now, I might still leave you a few $100s in your account, but you treated me so badly and even used Trump as your leverage. I'm sorry. Mister, you've messed with the wrong person. Just wait and see. If I can guess your password correctly, I won't even leave you a penny. With a thumping heart, Elaine quietly left the villa and rushed to the nearest Citibank branch. Alex, who was keeping himself busy in the kitchen, had no idea that Elaine was gone with his card. His phone suddenly rang when he was scrubbing the plates and utensils. He took his phone out and gaped in excitement when he saw the indicator on the screen that said Mrs. Brown. Alex's parents had died when he was 8 years old. He would have died of starvation on the streets if it weren't for Mrs. Brown from the orphanage. Therefore, Alex had always been grateful to Mrs. Brown and had never forgotten her kindness and grace towards him. That was also why Alex could muster the courage to borrow money from Lady Richard during her birthday banquet, because he wanted to collect funds for Mrs. Brown's kidney transplant surgery. Later, Nolan had appeared out of nowhere, and thanks to him, Mrs. Brown was transferred to hospital in Westcliff for the best treatment. During this period of time, Alex only knew that her surgery went well and that she underwent an excellent recovery treatment thanks to Nolan's arrangement. But he had not contacted Mrs. Brown since then, as he did not want to disturb her and had wanted to make sure she had the very much needed rest post-surgery. He quickly pressed the answer button and said, Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown's gentle and warm voice came from the other end of the line. Hi, Alex, it's me. How are you? He said excitedly, I'm fine. How are you? Mrs. Brown chuckled. I'm doing very well. There's no sign of rejection, Oswell. The doctor said that I'm recovering very well and I can be discharged soon. He also said that I can return to Orris Hill in a few days. Alex was delighted. That's wonderful. Mrs. Brown, please inform me on when you'll be back. I'll pick you up from the airport and celebrate your recovery. No, Alex, I can't let you spend more. If it weren't for the nurse who had accidentally spilled the beans, I wouldn't know that it was you who paid the hospital bills, millions of dollars of it, for my surgery and care. I don't know how to thank you. Mrs. Brown started sobbing. Alex felt a sense of tingling on his nose. Oh, Mrs. Brown, please don't cry. I'm just doing all I can to help you. Do you remember how when I was 8, I wandered on the streets for 3 days, starving and exhausted? If you hadn't brought me back to the orphanage then, I might have died on the streets long ago.